coming up. But y'all check it out. It's going to be on WTTW. Tom Burrell. It's going to be June 26, 2018, VIP reception. 25 callers will get a pair of tickets. Be on the lookout when we announce that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking to advertising icon and legend Tom Burrell. Charles?
You know, you're here to promote the documentary, but I'm having such a great time just kind of getting you to think out loud. If the Obama era created this racially ambiguous kind of advertising world that we see today, what is this Trump era creating in America?
Well, I hope that it's creating a reckoning. The one good thing we might be able to pull out of this is based on the theory that some of our leaders have stated before, is that before things can get better, they got to get worse before they get better. And boy, this cat is doing a great job of making things worse. I mean, it's worse on steroids. And so, if there's any truth to that, the sooner it gets worse, the sooner it can get better. And so we will see if that theory plans out. If we can, if everything is not destroyed in the process. But we are at a state of moral debasement in this country that is off the charts.
The darkest hour or minute of the night is just before dawn.
Tom, multiculturalism, people of color. Talk to me about how that impacts black people.
Well, what multicultural is a code word for is blending. And so when you blend, you get lost. And so that's what it means. You know, we had the African American market, we had, and then there comes the Hispanic market. And the trick is, for the general market, which is a shrinking percentage of the market, is to create a dynamic friction between those two segments, whereas they are on their way to becoming the majority of the population, but they are constituting 5 and 6% of the budget. So if they can keep us fighting over that 5 or 6%, that little piece of the pie, then they can continue to dominate with the 95. So multiculturalism is a way of taking all these segments and blending them into the kind of the other. And by blending them, basically weakening each sub-segment. And that's based on the theory that these subsegments are not going to get together, because just the way we were separated at the founding of this nation, poor whites and poor blacks, and the power structure said, hey, wait a minute, this is not going to work. Hey, you poor blacks, you poor white folks, don't hang out with them. You one of us.
But Tom, it seems like the alliances between the Latinos are trying to ally with the whites, and as the pie shrinks, the whites seem to be pushing it more to the Latinos. It seems like whenever I went to a multicultural agency, it was dominated by Latinos. And it doesn't seem like they like, hey, let's share with blacks.
Well, you're just saying what I said. That's what I said. I mean, basically, that's part of the separation. You are part of us.
Got it.
You are more part of us than you're part of them. So we lose on that deal.
Tom, what will be the role of messaging, advertising in reforming a black economic infrastructure. I mean, when you came up, there was that in Chicago.
There was that in the nation.
Yes, but
Yeah.
now there isn't. We don't even buy hair products from black people anymore.
Right.
What's going to be the role of messaging or advertising in making people understand the importance of rebuilding a black economic infrastructure?
Well, I wish, Charles, that I were enough of a wizard to give you a clear answer to that question. I think the real question is there anything that will do that?
Man, you starting to sound like Jim Montgomery.
But I mean, in terms of why don't the billboards in our neighborhood say "Buy Black"? Or
Who's going to place them?
who's going to place them?
Right.
And you got to do more than say buy black, because because it begs the question, why buy black? Because there's an implicit superiority for products that are not made by black people, and an implicit inferiority of those that are. So that's part of the job that's been done. Now, I'm going to have to leave it up to the Mays generation and the generations to follow to figure out how to get out of this, because I swear the efforts that I have tried to make have met with a lot of resistance.
And when you say the efforts that you've tried to make, when they've met with resistance, where does the resistance come from? Because it does seem to be an intergenerational disconnect in our community, in the black community.
The resistance comes from all quarters, because we're talking about change, which people have a hard time doing. Some people don't even want to give up their illnesses. The difficulty comes from sacrifice, because we have been conditioned, we have been addicted to entertainment and amusement, and we don't want to give up those comforts.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the voice of the advertising icon, Tom Burrell. Burrell, Advertising Revolution. They got a private screening coming up. We're going to be giving away tickets to it. But it's the new documentary. You can catch it on PBS. When does it come out? The 28th of June. Check it out. But look, we're going to come back. We'll continue. We'll wrap up with Tom Burrell. Big O, I see you over there, man. We kind of, Tom Burrell kind of got us all hypnotized right now. That's the man.
I'm trying to absorb some of this with me.
We all are. It's the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM.